in speeches much. I think I want to speak to you from the heart and from my own experience as a student. You see that I've been to many schools, right? I I've been to quite a number of schools, and one thing about me that nobody captures when they read all these citations is I'm very good at passing exams. I've not sat for any exam that I failed. It's not because I'm clever. I just think I have designed a strategy and a methodology that helps me pass. Even as a very weak math student for many years, I was still passing maths, and I had a 3 in maths at school start, where everybody expected me to fail. And where I too expected to be a borderline pass, but I did well. Again, because I think I have a methodology. So when they asked me to come and talk about empowering minds for academic excellence and career success, I was very happy to come because it's a topic that I think I can talk about. You see, what I said and what I just said now is that I took control of my academic career. I tell you, whenever I started school at the beginning of every term, for 2 weeks I used to play. No, I'll go to class, write my notes, but I won't read in the evening. I'll be gisting, everybody will be gisting with me. At the end of the second week, I start to read. I read every day, regardless. When I was doing my master's in Nottingham, I was actually the principal of Corona School, Agbara. I had a policy, it was a boarding school. So when the children were doing evening prep, I was studying. I used to sit outside my office from 7 to 11, and I'll go to bed at 11. So but I was reading there, but the students would always pass by and greet me when evening prep is over. They knew I would be sitting there. But I was studying for my master's and for my PGC. And like they said, I finished with distinction at both levels. I was the oldest person in class, and everybody expected a mama, can you cope with technology? Mama, can you use the computer? Hey, you are trying. But I had the best results in the set. So, but every day from 7 to 11, I was studying. So I've never done TDB, or what do you call it, till daybreak. I've never, some people drink coffee so that they don't sleep. Some people put bowls of water, put their feet inside so that they don't sleep. I sleep every day by about 12. And that's why, like I said, it was difficult for me to wake up today, because up till today, I do everything I want to do that day, and by 12, I'm done for the day. 12 midnight, I go to bed. And I don't wake up again until about 5:30. 5:30 is my time with my maker. Once I'm done with that, I sleep again. I thank him for waking me up and ask him to please allow me to sleep again. So I sleep again before I finally wake up. So all this habit has kept me steady. And so that's one of the things I want to tell you, that you have to develop a habit for academic excellence. Habits are things that you repeatedly do without thinking deeply about. So I would urge all of you to start to think about what are the habits that I need to break. I too have certain habits I need to break. I've always had. Those 2 weeks, that last day when I start reading, I will be very miserable. But one day I will pick up my books and I will read flat out till the exams come. And in fact, I think people used to think I used to cram, because I think I'm lucky that I read some text so much that in the exam hall, I can actually see the page in my mind. I can be writing, but in my mind, I can see the page, because I've read it so much, I've gone over it so much, I've discussed so much that I remember. So don't forget that all the work you do before you go for academic success must come well before. It cannot be around that time. Oh, we have 2 weeks to exam. You start, you stop making up. You stop combing your hair. You stop dressing well. It's irrelevant. The most relevant thing is what you did long before then. So having said that, let me just say, what is academic excellence? Academic excellence also is way more than passing exams. I'll tell you another anecdote. My last child, very brilliant. And she did GSE, she had 13 A's. So I said, Madam, I just want to know if you are clever. When she was reading for her Becker exam, I asked her some questions. Number one, we were going through a question paper. One question was, how many parts can you divide culture into? Does anybody know the answer here? How many parts can you divide culture into? I think it's, what subject is that? Civic education. So how many parts can you divide culture into? It's a very simple question. Somebody answer for me. Look, you are in uniform. You don't know the answer? Yes, my dear. What three? Thank you very much. Give her a round of applause. Actually, the textbook that my daughter read said two, and this is material culture and non-material culture. She said it very fast. So I said, that is a very stupid question. Why would anybody ask you that? You can guess and get the right answer, you know. Yeah. This is not assessing how clever you are. She said, well, that's what the textbook said. There was another question. At what age do you enter secondary school? Do you know the age? Somebody tell me the answer. 10. You enter secondary school at age 10. Is that what is written in the national policy in Nigeria? It's actually 12. You are guessing now. It's actually 12. So she told me, she said 12. I said, how old were you when you entered secondary school? She said, it doesn't matter. The answer is 12. After a while, she said, please don't teach me anymore. I need to pass this exam. And all the questions you are asking me are making me, they are discombobulating my head. Please, I need to pass. Please let me be. So I left her. And she did have her 13 A's. In those days, you could do 13 subjects. So I said, well, I don't think you are clever. I think you are great at cramming, reading, and just writing the answer. But it wasn't her fault, was it? Those are the kind of questions they asked. But I felt that in a good educational system, let me give you the options. Between 9 and 16, the age you enter secondary school, is any one of them wrong? Don't some people enter at 9? And some enter at 16? But you know, for you to think, they should have said, why does this happen? So some in the audience, tell me, why some children enter at 9 and some at 16? Why? I'm particular about the children in uniform. You have to tell me, why do some children enter secondary school from primary school at age 9? And why do some enter at age 16? Some at 10, some at 11, some at, you know, there is no standard for it. Why? Give me answers. You don't know? Nobody from this side? You don't know why? And please, I need to hear the answer. So please, if you know the answer, please stand up and let's hear the rest of the room. Yes, please. Family background. For what reason? Why? What kind of family background? The parents cannot afford, so there are poverty reasons. Yeah, because they are poor, they say, I don't have money yet. You have to do something. So what else? Yes, my dear. Their age. Some started school early. They have taken them to school by age 2, age 3. So by the time they are in primary 6, they are already... That's a very good one. Thank you. Very good answers so far. Any other reason? Just one more. Yes, no, I want a young school-going person. Look at the answer she gave me. That was a superb answer. Well done. Thank you. She thought about it. That's critical thinking. Anybody else? Any schools, any students here to answer my question? Why do some enter at 9 and some at 16? Sometimes, well, yes, let me take yours and I'll take somebody from here. The gentleman who I said I wanted a school student. Yeah. Pardon? Yeah, some were slow learners, they didn't catch up early and so they couldn't get to school on time. So somebody who still wants to contribute, anybody can contribute now. Yes, please. Yeah. Maybe they are repeating. So for many reasons. So rather than say what age and then just say 12, as if everybody enters at 12. So again, I feel that academic excellence, what I'm trying to get at is that academic excellence is more than you cramming the content of a textbook. It's also you being able to think critically, build a strong work ethic, and prepare you for world challenges. Because when you get into the world, it's going to be very different from school. And so you have to be prepared. And academic excellence should prepare you for that. So I have some things. I've said study appropriately. Study alone, study with friends, discuss with friends. When you have, I had a group of friends when I was doing my MBA, fantastic group. When we are going to school, we are studying. We are laughing, we are playing, we are going for breakfast. But through it all, we are asking questions. We even used to give ourselves topics so that it's your turn to share with the rest of us, and so on and so forth. So study appropriately. The other thing I have here is develop a growth mindset. Believe in yourself. Intelligence is not fixed. IQ, you see, intelligence is not fixed. Nobody is so dull that they cannot get better. By learning, by challenging themselves, by asking questions, by working hard, by studying, by paying attention in school. So you must have a growth mindset. A growth mindset believes that I can grow. It doesn't say that, well, my IQ is low, so there's nothing I can do about it. Oh yes, there's a lot you can do if you think so. A lot. Because IQ, you can work on how you absorb in school, you can study harder. So develop a growth mindset. One thing is master time management. I said I start studying. Master time. Everybody has 24 hours, and you too. So you cannot do more than 24 hours. Work hard on those 24 hours. Divide your 24 hours into blocks and give yourself time. Be flexible. You know that while you are studying, you must also enjoy yourself. You must have friends. You must go out once in a while. You must do some things. Oh yes, as an undergraduate, as a postgraduate student in school, I used to like dancing a lot. So I used to go out and I used to dance, and I mean that was an important part of my life. Even that my daughter that I told you, she has just finished her PhD. She finished her PhD like 3 years ago, but she's a professional dancer. She's a professional dancer. She's very good at dancing. And she dances professionally, and she has won many prizes for it. I've never stopped her. One day I said, how can a PhD student be dancing? She said, Mommy, that dancing is what keeps me okay. If I don't dance, I think I will almost go crazy with my work. So always be flexible, open-minded, have a fixed mindset, have your goals ready. Keep pushing, and don't forget, ask for help if you need it. Yoruba say, "Berebere ki shina." If you are going along, things are pretty difficult for you, ask for help. Ask your colleagues, ask your friends, ask your teacher, ask your parents, whoever can help you. You need to ask for help. If you don't ask for help, you can just be struggling unnecessarily. So for academic excellence, you can see it's about you developing your personal discipline. Now, when you've developed your own personal self, you've disciplined yourself, you know what to do, you know where to go. The next thing is career success. The life you are going to is different from the life I led. By the time I was finishing university, by the time I was doing youth corps, more than 5 people had come to camp to interview me. I had more than 5 job offers by the time I finished camp. By the time I finished camp, I knew who I was going to marry and all. It's not happening anymore. People are finishing school, they have no job for years. So how are you going to ensure that you have success in your own career? That's the question I want you to start to think about. And it starts from now. You see, I've worked in all sorts of schools. I've worked in public school. I've worked as principal, I've run public school, I've run private school. When I was running a private school where many of the children were going abroad, whenever they asked me to write their reference, I always say, your growth in life starts from GS1 or a primary school. So you have to remember that the world you are going to, like I said, is totally different. And the skills that you need. And let me tell you, I'm telling you the truth. I went for a conference once with the human resource manager of First Bank. She now said that when they are recruiting, they don't care for your degree. What is a degree now? A degree is nice to have, it's not compulsory. Doesn't mean you get a good job, but it's good to have because of the knowledge base, the network that you build up, the regard with which society will have for you. It's important that you try. But if you don't go to university, there's a lot happening. So you don't think that that degree is, if I go to university, everything will be fine. No, not at all. It's just a beginning. People are looking beyond degree. In First Bank, they don't care if you have a degree. What they care about is, do you have the skills to exist in the workplace? And what are these skills? Let me try and look for some. One, teamwork. You know, we are taught in school, no cheating, Abi? No cheating. When you are writing, when I was in primary school, this is how I used to write, so that nobody will see what I'm doing. No cheating. Now they say you have to work collaboratively. You have to be open and know that you are not going to work alone. You are going to work with a team of people. So you must be somebody who can work collaboratively in teams and with groups of people. Not somebody who will sit by themselves, looking at everybody in the office. I had a colleague like that when I was in the bank. If he stood up, we all sat in one office and we used to drink tea. If this man stands up and maybe he goes to the bathroom, he comes at that tea, we are in trouble. He said, there's something on the surface that when he left, his enemies have... When all of us are sitting here, how did your enemy get up from among us and put something and we won't see your enemy? Who is your enemy, sir, among all of us? You know, such a person cannot work in the workplace of the future. So you have to be a team player, you have to be collaborative, you have to be somebody who thinks critically. And when they say a critical thinker is somebody who questions assumptions. People cannot just tell you things and you believe hook, line, and sinker. You have to find out yourself. Nobody can tell me this person is good or this person is bad. I will find out myself. Nobody can tell me that, do this job this way or that way without me doing some research. So the second thing is you must be a critical thinker, because most of the work you are going to do is to solve problems. And you cannot solve a problem if you are not a critical thinker. Because that means as a critical thinker, you are going to look at a situation. I hope in this room we have future governors, right? To be a governor, is it just to be going about in Sarinka? No. There's a lot of cerebral work that comes with it. Hello? Maybe you are developing your budget at the beginning of the year. You must be clever enough to say, what do I want to do? What do I want to achieve? So you must be a problem solver, whether it's a light situation, whether it's transportation, whether it's something. So to solve a problem, you have to be a critical thinker. So you must be a critical thinker and a problem solver. Even while you are in school, you must be a critical thinker and a problem solver. I remember one of my students in school. He designed a methodology for punishment. He came to me and said, Mrs. Adefisayo, all these punishments you are giving us, go and got class, go and do this one, it's not working. I said, okay, what can work? He said, let me design an app. You see that? He said, we don't learn anything from that. But he said, on this app, if one of the punishments was, go and read up the story of the life of Bill Gates. Who is Bill Gates? The founder of Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft operating system and all. Go and read it up and summarize in 600 words. He said that is worse punishment than cutting grass. I'm not sure I agreed with him, but can you see that this is a boy who is thinking of how to solve a problem within the school, right? I never forgot him, because he will come to my office and say, I have more punishments. He had a list of punishments, and they were very clever punishments indeed, actually. When he says you should do something like count, go and look at about 10 trees on the school compound and find out their biological name. He said, man, that is worse punishment than go and cut grass. So you have to be a critical thinker. I wonder where that boy is. But I know that he will always do well, because he was so smart. And then, so a critical problem, a critical thinker, a problem solver, a creative person. Creativity is not art. Creativity is applying, the principles of creativity, thinking differently to every situation that you come across. To every situation that you come across. How do I solve this problem? How do I solve it? Then you can use all your knowledge, all your understanding. That means you must read widely. You must discuss widely. You must understand. You don't be taken in by social media influencers. Many of them are terrible people leading terrible lives. They will now show you their house. It's not their house sometimes. They will show you a car. I remember one who was a joke that went round. Oh God. He stood in front of a car. This is my Rolls Royce. I'm in London. I shared the car had recording. The car said, "This is not your car. Move back." So it went on social media. After he has imposing to all of us, and we are saying, when did he leave Nigeria now? And he already has a yellow Rolls Royce in the middle of London. You don't know that. It's all. So you have to be able to be someone who thinks creatively, somebody who thinks critically, a problem solver, an interesting person. That's what the workplace wants. She said when they are testing people, and I worked somewhere before actually. That place was called Tetra Park. I don't know. You don't just do Strive Alive, that park. I was the finance manager for West Africa. When I went for training in Switzerland, they did a test on me. They asked me many questions. You know what they wanted to find out? If I will be comfortable. If I find myself in a situation where I don't speak their language, I don't understand their ways, I will not judge them. And that's why they took me. Because they asked a question like, I was working with people who said, "How many children do you have?" When I told them I have 3, they said, "Why do you need..." Anyway, why? I said, "Don't you have?" She said, "No, my husband and I, we have a dog." That's okay. So being Nigerian, that was a bit hard for me, but I am the kind of person who say, "Really, you have a dog? How interesting." So they knew that I was the kind of person who would be in all sorts of situations that I would not understand. She actually took me out for dinner with the dog. And the dog sat on a chair. And we were eating this dish called fondue. Now you see this dish, it's a big bowl. And you take your potato or bread and you dip it inside and eat it. And the dog was looking at the fondue. The dog was looking at the fondue. I was looking at the fondue. I made eye contact with the dog that, you and I are not going to share this. We are not going to share this fondue. Then she turned around and told the dog, "No fondue for you, darling. You know it gives you boils." So when you are almost... So she was really going to give him this thing. If it's not that, luckily for me, it gives the silly dog boils. But it's none of my business. If you, instead of children, you want a dog, that's your business. So, that's why they took me. Because you are going to find yourself in situations that you don't understand. So somebody tells you, "I have a dog." You say, "Hey, help!" Then you start calling us out, "The blood of Jesus." No. Say that inside you and cope with the person, right? Because the world of today is a global world. Do you want to restrict yourself to this place? Don't you want to be a global citizen? In which case you are going to meet all sorts of people. And you better be happy with all of them. And that's one thing, that your mind has to be flexible. And that is what employers are looking for in the workplace of today. You want to learn. Because all of us know now, AI, somebody like me is not supposed to know AI, but I do. I pass it through ChatGPT. I do a lot of things with AI. Most people don't know. I'm very tech savvy. They say, "Hey, Mama, how are you coping?" The best thing to do is just say, "It's all right. I'm trying. Sure, you will teach me." But that is due to the fact that over many years, I've known that this is the future. You can't fight it, Do you know you can't fight it? You cannot. These are forces against which we have no power. The best thing to do is to find the best way to grow yourself and your productivity. And at what age? My mother is 94. My mother has an iPad. I'll tell you. She went for a church something, and one of them bought out an iPad. When they said, bring out your Bible, my mother bought it out. And somebody bought out an iPad, and my mother was jealous. When she got to, and then all of them said, where did you get, what is this thing? And I said, I don't even know, it's the children. They just said I should be using it. So she got, I too need that. Do you know we had to call the woman to find out what that thing was, to go and look at it, and then we bought use it much. She can't use it. She uses it. There's one Oyinbo person who speaks Yoruba, so she's always listening to that person on YouTube. There's the Bible. But if at 90 something somebody is willing to move with technology, what about you? So you better make yourself flexible and open-minded. The world is indeed a dangerous place. There are many things that we don't understand happening around us. Regardless of where you find yourself, people should know what you stand for. What is right, what is wrong. As one young lady came to me and said, how was your school start? They gave me 9. Madam, you got 9. You got 9. You wrote 9. Nobody gave you 9. Go and work for a better score. They gave me 9. Do they know you personally? So that they decided that you are going to get 9. What is right is right. There are no gray areas. And so I will leave you with I talk about a lot. There's one man called Stephen Covey. He's dead now. He wrote a book called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. How can you be effective? There are 7 habits. I'll try and remember them. You will forgive me a bit. You know, I have senior moments, but I don't think I'll have a senior moment today. Habit 1. You see, all those habits are based on certain things, on principles and values. You see, principles never change. What is wrong today was wrong 100 years ago. It will be wrong 100 years from now. What society values may change. People may just value money. People may just value that, oh, she's fine, she's this, she's that. But the principle of what is right and what is wrong will not change. So if you base your life, the first thing is to base your life on principles. And the second, and I'm still very, very active. I'm an employer. I have my staff. They make me unhappy around the 24th to 25th of every month when a lot of money flows out of my account in payment. But once I paid them, I'm happy again that at least I did not disappoint them. So I'm many things, and so are all of us. So that's my alarm. So my time is up, but I'll just take 2 or 3 minutes to talk about the 7 habits. Based on principles, based on your various roles that you play. The first habit is to be proactive. Be proactive, which means accept that the good Lord has given you everything you need to be successful in life. It's inside you. Now bring it out. Let it show. Let the whole world see you and know you. Be proactive. Be proactive. Remember, don't react to situations. Plan ahead, because you know that you have been given all the gifts you need in this life to be successful. Habit 2, begin with the end in mind. Whatever you do, begin with the end in mind. In coming here, begin with the end in mind. Why am I going there? Even in the bringing up of my children, I thought of beginning with the end in mind. By the time, my mother lost her mother when she was 78. So by the time I'm an old woman like that, what will my children be like? I started with that, and I brought it down in ensuring that they toe that line and be who they can be. So begin with the end. You are going for a meeting, begin with the end in mind. You are going for physics class. Why am I going for physics class? I want to ultimately become an engineer or a doctor or something. So I have to do well in physics. There is no question. You don't pass physics, you don't go beyond that level. Why am I going for literature class? I want to be a lawyer. There is no lawyer that will be taken in any university in Nigeria without at least literature. Maybe BK or CRS. But literature, so I have to pass it. I don't like reading. I must make myself read and love reading. Begin with the end in mind. Habit 3, put first things first. That means prioritize what is more important and what is less important. Put what is most important in your life forward. Exercise, diet, good living, principles, values. You're ensuring that you play the roles that you are playing appropriately. All those things are number one. Don't allow the noise of life to bother you. If you ask me, I'm not here to talk about the disappointments of my life. But if I talk about, you see, there are lots of disappointments, but I've never allowed it to move me from the ultimate place where I am going. So put first things first. What is most important to you? Your God most important to you? Face Him, worship Him in your own way. Put anything most important to you in front of your life. Putting first things first means plan your day. At the beginning of the day, what do you do? At the end of the day, how will you look back on the day? That's habit 3. Those 3 habits move you from a state of dependence. You did it to me. My parents were bad. My parents were poor. That's why I didn't go to school. My parents were poor, so I did not have a attire to be an influencer. All that is just nonsense. By the time you practice these 3 habits, you move from that state to a state of independence, which says, I can do it. They'll say it after me. I can do it. I can do it. And once you move from that stage, remember that you cannot do it alone. Right? So you have to work with other people. So the next 3 habits talk about how you are a confident person. You can do it. You are proactive. You have begun with the end in mind. You put first things first. You plan your life. The next thing is to start to work with other people. So one habit 4 says, think win-win. Think means, win-win means I want to win. I want you to win. I don't want to lose. I want to win. In coming here is a win for me. I wanted to come. I want to meet young people. You know, you may see me someday. I may see you someday. The first job I ever got was because my father taught somebody in Edo College, Benin City in 1958. By the time I finished my master's and went to the bank to look for a job, he was the HR manager and he said, I can never forget your father. Within 2 weeks, I started working in UBA. So you don't know. You may see my child and say, Adefisayo, I remember that woman. That is why I came, because nobody knows the future. I want you to win in meeting me, and I want to win in meeting you. Because I would have influenced you, and you will think win-win and plan for your life and be a different person. So that's habit 4. Habit 5, seek is a long one. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Seek first to understand. Let me understand you, and then I'll try and make you understand me. That is a magnificent habit. Sorry, let me switch off my alarm. So, a magnificent habit, which means empathy. Let me put myself in your shoes. You're a young person, you're in school. I was young once, but my time was different. I have to understand where you are coming from, what your time is, why things are the way they are, and how we can meet each other at a point. So seek first to understand, then to be understood, which means empathy. Putting yourself in somebody's shoes. Habit 6 is synergize. Synergy means 2 plus 2 is what? What is 2 plus 2? That's mathematics. In synergy, 2 plus 2 can be 10. It can be 1 million. It means that together, we can all achieve more. Synergy means the sum is greater than the parts. So together, can you imagine? You mean that if I sit down one day, supposing one of you becomes governor, and you cannot pick your cabinet from this room? You can. Because none of you is as smart as all of us. By the time we put all our collective brains together, we come up with a fantastic solution, especially if you're a good leader. That is habit 6. And the 7th and final habit encompasses all of them and says, do you know that I've forgotten? But I know it. I told you a senior moment would come. But habit 7 says, sharpen the saw. Sharpen the saw. When you are going out to work, will you not sharpen the saw? If you do not sharpen the saw, what will happen? Will you be able to cut down the trees? So sharpen the saw. Take care of yourself in every dimension of life. And there are many dimensions. The physical, the emotional, the social, the spiritual, the cognitive. In all dimensions of life, make sure you take care of yourself. Be a social, human beings are social beings. When you get to a certain age, look, I keep talking about my mother. My mother is 94. She, no, in fact, when she clocked 90, there was no friend of hers there because where are they? They have crossed the River Jordan. They have gone to the great beyond. And those who are here, they cannot see, they cannot hear, they cannot walk. So at a certain point in your life, who are you going to rely on? Relationships. So social, be your sister. Somebody told me life is like a train journey. All of us getting on. Many people will get on with you. Get on and off. It's probably you and a few of your siblings. So that's my bit. Academic excellence, but remember, it's all in one package. You can't do it in the absence of all the other things. Like I said, are we thinking win-win? Are we going to win? Can you do it? So you now move from that independence. I can do it again. Remember, you do it with other people. So what's the final saying now? We can do it. Now say that. We can do it. We are going to do it. We have started doing it. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Mommy. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I'm going to talk to ambulance because of this. I don't know. She was given 30 minutes, but I didn't even bother to check the time at the point because I was speaking so much. Do you agree with me that this session was loaded? Do you agree with me that it was loaded? A big round of applause for Mommy one more time. Mommy, we want to thank you. We want to thank you.